Act like you love me, please. The words slipped from her trembling lips before she could stop them. Her eyes, glassy with tears, met his steady, unreadable gaze. Around them, the grand hotel ballroom pulsed with laughter, champagne glasses clinking under the golden chandelier. And just a few feet away, her ex-boyfriend, now smugly holding hands with the woman he'd left her for, watched with cruel amusement. She had nowhere to hide. No dignity left to hold on to. So she turned to the stranger beside her, a man with eyes like winter storms and a face she'd seen 100 times on magazine covers, and whispered again, desperate and shaking, "Please, just pretend. Just for tonight." The man she just begged was none other than Alexander Steele, the billionaire CEO known for his ruthless business sense and colder heart. And when he slowly slid his arm around her waist, pulling her close as cameras flashed and murmurs spread through the crowd, everyone froze. Because no one, least of all her ex, expected Alexander Steele to lean down and say in that deep, commanding voice, "Why pretend?" From that moment, her life changed forever. Emily Carter was invisible to most people. She worked double shifts at a small downtown bakery, lived in a tiny studio apartment that smelled faintly of yeast and coffee, and barely made enough to keep the lights on. But she carried something that money couldn't buy, grace, and a quiet strength that had kept her going through heartbreak and hunger alike. 2 years ago, her heart had been shattered when her ex, Nathan, left her for his boss's daughter, wealthy, polished, and everything Emily wasn't. He didn't even look back when he walked out. Now, Nathan was engaged, flaunting his success at the very event Emily was forced to attend. Her bakery had been hired to cater it. She'd hoped to drop off the pastries quietly and disappear, but fate had other plans. Nathan had spotted her near the dessert table, dressed in a simple pale blue dress that looked like a ghost among gowns worth thousands. He smirked, holding his fiancée closer. "Oh look, Emily. Still baking cookies for a living? Guess some people never move up." His words cut like glass. But before she could respond, a tall man approached the same table, speaking softly to the event manager. Alexander Steele, owner of Steele Enterprises, the event sponsor. Every woman in the room watched him like he was a storm about to break. And then, just as Emily turned to leave, Nathan's voice rang out again, mocking. "Tell me, Emily, did you ever move on, or are you still begging for scraps?" Her hand shook. Her heart pounded. And in a desperate act of pride, she turned toward Alexander Steele and said the first thing that came to her mind, "Act like you love me, please." He looked at her for a long, heavy moment. Something flickered in his eyes, curiosity, maybe recognition. Then, to everyone's shock, he stepped closer. "Love you?" His lips curved into the faintest smirk. "Sweetheart, I don't act." He pulled her close, fingers brushing her hair away from her face as if they'd known each other for years. The crowd gasped. Nathan's smirk faded into confusion. Cameras clicked. And for the first time in forever, Emily felt seen. When the event ended, she tried to slip away quietly. But before she reached the door, Alexander's voice stopped her. "Miss Carter." She froze. He was standing near the elevator, his tuxedo jacket casually unbuttoned, eyes locked on her like she was a puzzle he wanted to solve. "You shouldn't let men like that speak to you that way." She swallowed hard. "I didn't mean to involve you. I panicked." He tilted his head. "You're interesting when you panic." Her cheeks burned. "I'm sorry. It won't happen again." But then he said something that made her heart stop. "No. It will." "What?" "I'm having dinner tomorrow night. You're coming with me." She blinked. "Why would you?" He cut her off, stepping closer. "Because I don't like people who humiliate good women. And because I think I owe you a story that's worth pretending for." And with that, he walked away. The next evening, Emily showed up at a five-star restaurant she'd only ever passed by. The maitre d' led her to a private table overlooking the city. Alexander was already there, crisp in a charcoal suit, sipping something amber. "You came," he said, not looking surprised. "You invited me. I wasn't sure you'd accept." "I wasn't sure either," she whispered. Dinner passed with slow conversation. He wasn't what she expected. Beneath the hard, confident surface, there was a deep, almost quiet sadness in him, something heavy behind those calm gray eyes. She learned that his late wife had died 5 years ago. That he'd built his empire as a distraction from pain. That he trusted no one, not even himself. And for some reason, he was telling her this, an ordinary girl who baked bread at dawn and counted coins at night. Over the next few weeks, their paths crossed again and again. He'd visit the bakery under the excuse of business meetings. He started to smile more, stay longer. And slowly, the line between pretending and feeling began to blur.